Welcome to the channel where you will find love, laughs, and DIYs. My name is Crafty Kathy, and I'm so happy and thankful that you came to craft with me today. This is my Christmas series, and it's every Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. And today I have for you some high-end dollar store DIYs, and I know that you're going to love these. Let's jump right into the first one. I've got two of these trees that come from the Dollar Tree. You know, they're only about a foot tall each, and these are kind of old. They've been in a tote, so I'm just straightening them up and getting all the branches the right way, and then I'm going to butt them up together where the two bottom parts are kind of, butted up. Since these are going to be laying flat, we want them to look as full as possible. So all I'm doing here is pulling those branches around to the front because that way they're going to lay flat on my table when I put them butt to butt. When I get them the way I want them, I'm just going to place them kind of close together, and I'm going to take a zip tie. Now you can get these zip ties at the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put 3 zip ties on them, one right in the very center, and then one on each side where the little, the bottom part of the tree ends. We just want to secure it to make sure that it's not going to go anywhere. And then I'm just going to cut the little piece of the zip tie off that sticks up and is in the way. My craft room was such a mess. I could not find my wire cutters, so I have these dog clippers, and I thought it was funny. I was going to show that to you. But hey, they worked. They clipped the zip ties right in two. Now you notice whenever you put those together how sparse it looks. So we've got a remedy for that. You get some of those garland ties, I believe is what they call them. It's just the little pics that's like the piece of evergreen here. You're going to put one definitely right in the center, if not 2. You just put as many as you need to fill this out. It took about, I would say about 6 to 8 of these garland ties just to fill it out. Now these are little cedar picks. They are selling these at Dollar Tree, y'all. I got these off of Amazon because I bought them before I knew that Dollar Tree had them this year, but Dollar Tree is carrying these. And you'll notice I'm putting one on each side. I'm doing the exact same way every time I do florals or anything of that nature. What I put on the left side, I put in the exact same spot on the right side. So here I added 4, and you see where they're at. They're not right in the very center. They're away from the center just a little bit. And the way that I have the garland ties in there, they're very easy just to stick in there, and it literally holds them. They're not going to go anywhere. This is almost making an X, if you'll notice here. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take a couple of more of those, and we're going to go up a little bit towards the very ends, and we're going to do the exact same thing. I think that I used a total of, so far I've used 6, and I believe I put at least 2 more in. So far I've used a total of 8. Now we're going to take these beautiful silvery, I guess they're just wisp, I don't really know what you would call them, and we're going to add those in there. Now, everything that I'm showing you is at the Dollar Tree. Even if I didn't get my piece, like those cedar picks, I got those from Amazon, but Dollar Tree carries those, and Dollar Tree carries these pieces also. So these are going to go right next to that first cedar pick that we put in. We put one on the left side and one on the right side, the exact same thing that I do before. Now, I didn't want a whole bunch of silver in this because I've got some other things that are going in here. So I wanted to kind of pace myself and not go crazy at first because I have a habit of doing that and overdoing things. So I just put in 4 of these, and you see where they're at. They're not right in the very center. They're almost about 3/4 of the way, if that makes any sense to you guys. But you can see what I'm doing. Now I'm going to add some of these beautiful red berry picks with my pet clippers here. I'm clipping them off. So I'll leave a little bit of the stem on, and the first thing I do is put them where I think they're going to look good, and that's what I'm doing here. And then after I sit back and look at it and see if it's going to look all right, I'll put a dab of glue on the end of it and then stick it back in there. But for now, we're just trying to figure out our placement. And notice I'm almost putting these right on top of those silvery things there. That way they're going to show up real good, they're going to pop, and they're going to be beautiful. I purposely am keeping the video kind of slow. I'm going to speed it up just a minute because I'm doing the exact same thing. It's repetitive. I'm just putting my first 4 berries on right by the little silver things. Then I'm going to put a couple more just a little bit further back on my centerpiece. So just to recap, I'm putting a total of 6 little things of berries. You see the 4 bigger ones in the center, toward the center, and the 2 smaller on the ends. Now these are little like mistletoe picks. I actually found these at Walmart for only 97 cents. But they do have these exact same ones at the Dollar Tree. But in my opinion, the ones from the Dollar Tree aren't as pretty. So sometimes Dollar Tree is not the best bang for your buck. Now this is where I looked and I saw my placement was good, and I'm adding my glue. Just a little dab of glue on the end, and you stick it in your little bushes and it's going to hold. Don't worry about that at all. And you see I've added 4 pieces of the mistletoe. They're right kind of behind, I guess you could say, those berries. And I've got 4 there. Now I'm going to add a couple more of these cedar picks. And by the way, the cedar picks from the Dollar Tree look exactly like these. They're really pretty. They're good quality. They're beautiful. And here's where I'm going back. Like I told you, I always put my stuff down first, make sure it's going to look good, and then put glue. So I'm just adding a couple more berries here and there. And I'm showing you right here, basically, that what I put on one side, I put on the other. You see? It's exactly the same. This is how you build any centerpiece, swag, any kind of floral arrangement. This is how you build it. You just make sure you put the same on both sides and just trust the process and keep going until you're happy with what you've got. Now I'm going to take some of these small pine picks. See how little these are? They're just little pine picks. And we're going to add them. It's important when you're doing florals to have different textures. Like my base is the little Christmas trees, and you're barely even, they're just almost like an afterthought, I guess you could say. They're in the background. It's just for a filler. And then you add the cedar, and now we're adding the pine. So we've got different types of textures added in there, and it makes for a beautiful display. You see here, I'm almost toward the ends, and I've put 2 on both ends here so far. I'm just going to go throughout the piece where I think that it needs this small piece of pine, and I'm just going to add it. And of course, whatever I add to one side, I'm going to add to the other. And I used quite a bit of these pine picks because they're small and because they add just a beautiful touch. And notice how I can pick it up like this. Everything's secure, nothing's falling off, so we're going to keep going. The next thing I'm going to do is take the ribbon. This ribbon is from the Dollar General, and it just says Merry Christmas. It looks like it's embroidered all over it. And it is a burlap color, and then the wired part on the edges there is red. And I'm just cutting each part that says Merry Christmas. If I have to guess, I would say I'm maybe cutting off 3 inches, maybe 3.5. I'm folding it in half, and then I'm going to kind of pinch it in the middle. You see, I've just got it pinched, and then I'm going to fold it in half while it's pinched. That's pretty much all I'm doing, and sticking it down in just different places inside this centerpiece. It just dawned on me to point out that those berries that I've got on there, I've got the larger berries toward the center, and as you notice, as I go further out, I go smaller. That way your eye is drawn to the center of the centerpiece. Now back to my little ribbon. You see I'm going to do it the exact same way. I'm just going to pinch it in the middle, and then I'm going to just, it's a makeshift bow really, and then I'm just going to tuck it down in there. I hope I'm going slow enough for you guys, and I hope you're enjoying this video. I'm loving the view right here. I'm so thankful that my husband fixed my little my camera angle, because you know you're not looking at my head anymore. Yay! Now this fabric is called homespun fabric. I'm literally counting 4 little squares over on it, and I cut it and then it rips just like burlap does. You can pull it and it'll rip right down the middle, and it's going to be even all the way down, and it gets kind of frayish, like frayy on the ends, which I like that. If you don't like that, just take it off and cut it off. I'm doing the exact same thing. I'm getting about a 5 inches a piece. If I had to guess, they're about 5 inches long. I am folding them in the middle and sticking them down in here just like I did the bows. And you see, I'm doing these the exact same way that I do everything else. What goes on one side goes on the other side. And I added some of these right in the center, almost right in the center, but not quite. And I'm just ripping off some more. Now this fabric, I did get this fabric at Goodies. What Goodies? What am I talking about? Hobby Lobby. Goodies is not even around me anymore. I don't know what I'm thinking. Good gracious, Kathy. It's been a long day, y'all. Don't know what's going on. What? Anyways, I'm just adding some more of these in here, and you'll see where I'm adding it. I'm adding it toward the ends, about 1/4 of the way, 1/2 of the way, 3/4 of the way. Just kind of here and there, just anywhere that looks good. As long as you put it on the opposite side, you're going to do good on this. Don't you worry. Your centerpiece is going to be beautiful. Now you can find all kinds of fabric, those fat quarters, at Dollar Tree, but my Dollar Tree did not have anything that looked Christmassy whatsoever, so I did get this fabric at Hobby Lobby. And so I did tell a little white lie, not purposely, but I did tell y'all that everything's from the Dollar Tree, but not everything is, obviously. Now I'm just running my mouth. I'll be quiet and let you just watch what I'm doing. I've got my finger protectors on because it's very important when you're pushing that fabric down in there, when you put that glue on there, you don't want to burn yourself, so just be careful. You got to save them little fingers so you can craft another day, right? Now, this DIY is the longest one of the video, so if I'm boring you guys or anything, just please have patience because this one takes a little bit longer. I just wanted to slow it down for those of you that are not so sure about yourselves when it comes to the centerpieces and the swags. You can use this as like a teardrop swag. You can turn it sideways and use it as a, traditional swag. Hang it on the door. You can use it as a beautiful centerpiece. And here I'm just going to show you, look, everything's still intact, and this is what we've got so far. And if you need to use those little garland ties that we put on there to kind of hold stuff down, they've got wire in them, so they're really easy to twist around these little branches and stuff if you want something to kind of be held into place, because you don't want to try to hang this up on your door or your wall and have in the back of your mind that pieces might fall out. You definitely don't want that, especially if you're going to put it on your front door. The next thing I'm going to do is take these silver bells, and they are from Dollar Tree. I'm going to take 3 of them because remember I told you things like that look better in 3s. Now, I like silver bells because of the song. I can't get that out of my mind. So most of the bells that I have at Christmas are silver, but I wanted to knock a little bit of that shine off of there. I'm just adding the Waverly Antique Wax. I'm going to add it all over here, and then I'm simply going to pat it with a rag. And the reason why I'm going to pat these with the rag is because that wax, if I just rub it, it's going to come right back off because that's a slick surface. So if you just kind of pat it, it gives you that perfect look like it's an old rusty bell. And so I'm going over them again. I just went over them probably about maybe 3 to 4 times just until it got the color that I was personally happy with. And I want you to look at the difference this makes on the bells. Now, you may be someone that likes the shinier ones better. That's fine. I just wanted to show you how I do them to make them look a little bit more rusty. I just pat them down. That's the secret. Now I'm just finishing up by doing my very last bell. I'm going to pat it off, and then we're going to move along. I'm going to place my 3 bells right smack dab in the center of this centerpiece. And I just kind of put them almost as if they're going in different directions here. I've got one of these packs of those little mini pine cones, and I'm just going to add a couple of these here and there, just wherever I think that it needed it. And I do the exact same thing like I did with the other pieces. When I lay it down and see that the placement is good, I'm going to stick just a little bit of glue on the bottom and then place it right back down where I had it at. I'm taking the Waverly white chalk paint, putting a little bit on a fan brush, and I'm just going to dab it here and there all over the green parts to make it look like snow has kind of fallen on this. I like stuff to be frosted looking. You may not even like that, but I think it's beautiful. So I'm going to go through and put a little bit of frosted snow on everything. I know I keep saying it, but I just cannot get over how beautiful this is, guys. Dollar Tree. Look how beautiful. It's so pretty. So I got this little reindeer at the Dollar General for $1. And I do not like this black and white. Well, I like it, but it doesn't go with our motif we got going on. So I'm going to hit it with a little bit of the heat from my heat gun just to melt the glue that's on there so I can pull that bow right off. Then I take my little doggy clippers and I clip it. It had like a little thingy on the top of it where you could hang it up if you wanted to, and I wanted to take that off. It was in the middle of his antlers, and then I just cut it off so you couldn't see it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this fabric that I've got. I'm going to just tie a simple ribbon in it, and we're going to place that on his neck. But I'm going to place it a little bit higher because I didn't like it right underneath him the way that one was. I think it looks so much better when it's right there on his neck. But before I place it on his neck, I just quickly dovetailed the ends of this. I didn't dovetail the ends of anything else, so I'm not really sure why I did this, but hey, it looked cute. Now, when you're sticking the fabric and stuff down in there, I don't think it looks as good as if you were to dovetail it anyway. That's why I didn't dovetail anything else. But I did do this because the little ribbon goes right there on him. I finally found my actual wire clippers, And I just cut a little bit off the bottom of this because we're just simply going to put that in our little centerpiece. And I hope you like this one, guys. I'm going to show it to you the different ways. This is like a teardrop type swag, like I had talked about. And then I'm going to show you pictures of different ways. This is it if you were to set it like a traditional swag, you know, long ways, I guess you could say.
For the children above all, then you know it's Christmas, 'cause Santa's on his way. We'll stand under the mistletoe, and then it's Christmas Day. The joyful times we witness forever stays with us. Soon Rudolph hears his whistle and gathers all his friends. When Santa and his missus wraps the final gift.
And then here is the actual vision that I had when I first started making this. I'm going to personally use this as a centerpiece, laying down like this with the little deer right in the center by my bells. And I took 2 candlesticks. I wanted the ones from Dollar Tree, those new skinny black ones that they've got, but I couldn't find them. So these are 2 from the thrift store, and you literally just shimmy them inside the branches there. And I tied some of the fabric around them, and it makes a gorgeous centerpiece display. I hope y'all like this. I think it's beautiful.
And then you know it's Christmas when the snow starts to fall. And then you know it's Christmas for the children above all. And then you know it's Christmas 'cause Santa's on his way. We'll stand under the mistletoe, and then it's Christmas Day.
All right, now we're moving into the quick DIYs. That was the only long one. And we're going to go into number 2. And this one, these are 3 beautiful reindeer that I picked up at the Dollar General. They were $3 a piece. And I like them the way they are. But my vision for these is for them to be solid white. So I took them outside and sprayed them with that Rust-Oleum 2 times matte white. I had to give it about 2 to 3 coats to cover. In my opinion, these reindeer didn't really need anything else, but I am taking just a small piece of that fabric, that homespun fabric that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I would say I'm using about maybe 6 inches, 5 to 6 inches, and simply tying like a little knot type bow around each one's neck. And I think this is gorgeous. I think it's very elegant. And to me, when I think of elegant, I think of simplicity with just a little dab of something beautiful. So to me, these are elegant. But you got to remember, I am from Tennessee. So I had to put a little spin of to me, this fabric is very farmhouse. So it's kind of like elegant farmhouse, I guess you could call my taste. But I think these are so sweet with just that little bit of ribbon on them. Then I'm going to go through and add one of these small little red bells that come from a pack from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to put it right in the center of their little scarves. Elegant scarves. I did want to put a stamp on them, and this is my IOD Christmas stamp, and I'm going to put the word comfort on one of them. On the next one, I'm placing the word and on the next one, it's going to say joy. Because you know the song, Good Tidings of Comfort and Joy. And that's what came to my mind, and I happened to have the stamps, so I put her on there, and I hope you like this one. It's simple and quick, and in my opinion, it's elegant.
It's December again, I can't believe it. Whatever happened to the rest of the year? It went by so fast, I barely did see it. Now I'm
DIY number 3 is another very simple one. I got 2 of these candy canes that light up. They're from the Dollar Tree, and I believe that they are about 2 foot tall a piece. If I had to guess, I would say they are exactly 2 foot tall, if not just a little bit taller. So I'm going to take these, and I'm going to take the fabric that I got from Hobby Lobby. And by the way, I got this fabric very, very cheap. I got 1 yard of this fabric for all these DIYs I'm doing. I still have some left over when I was finished. And I think I maybe paid $2 for that whole yard. And you see here, I'm actually counting how many squares I'm going. And I counted 4 squares over. I put a little cut, and then I pull. And it rips perfectly right down it. I started off at the little tippity top here. I'm putting a little bead of glue on the underneath part, and then I'm simply going to go and start wrapping this fabric all around my little candy canes until I get to the very bottom. Now, when I got around, kind of around the corner here of the candy cane, I did put a little bit of glue just to make sure that we didn't come undone. And I kept these in a tight roll all the way down. I did have to use a couple of little pieces of this ribbon going down, but I would put the glue down where I stopped at, and then I would start right over the top of it, and you can't even tell that any of the fabric ever had a stopping or starting point. And so I'm going to just keep going all the way down through here, put just a little dab of glue, and just keep going. Once you get around that little hook on the top, it goes very fast. When you run out of your piece of fabric, all you do is glue another piece down, and then you just keep going. And it did take 3 pieces of this ribbon, but it was exactly enough to get at the bottom, and then I ended it with just a little bit of glue. And you turn these on by a little push button on the very bottom part, by the way. And that was very simple, and that's my 2 little candy canes. And I think they are so pretty with this homespun fabric. I simply crisscross them in the middle, and I'm going to use those tie wraps again. I put one right in the center, and then one on the side here. That way they're totally secure and they're not going anywhere. This thing is going to go on my front door, so I didn't want to make my X here too wide where it's going to be wider than the door, but you just make it the size you want it, because when you put the tie wraps on, it's not going anywhere. I have these beautiful gingerbread men, and these are from the Dollar Tree. They're just little foam gingerbreads, and I'm just going to paint eyes on each one of them. I'm just using my Sharpie to do that. And 2 of them are going to be little girls, so I gave them little eyelashes. I went through all my buttons, and I get my buttons in those little containers from the Dollar Tree. They come in either solid black, or you can get ones that are different colors. And of course, I have so many of those because I'm a button fanatic, you know. And so I put 3 buttons on each one, and I stayed with black on all of them so they would all match. Now I'm just going to take a small square of this homespun that was left over. I would say it's about 1 inch long. we're making the little hair bows for our girls. So all I'm going to do is take this square, I'm going to pinch it in the middle, and then I'm going to take a piece of my jute and just tie it right in the center. And then I'm just going to clip the very ends of that jute off. Now I'm just going to place a little bit of glue on the back, and I'm going to pop these right up on the top of the two little girls' heads. And as soon as I did that, I realized that the ones that I had made the eyelashes for are not the ones that I put the bow on. So I quickly made little eyelashes on these and fixed the other two that did have the eyelashes. I'm going to do like I had done the others and put the little red bell right in the middle of my bows. Then I'm going to spray them with some of that Loctite spray adhesive, and I'm going to use my little glitter that I get from Walmart. It's a diamond glitter, and I sprinkle it all over these guys, and it looks just like sugar. And after I put the glitter on, I added a little bit more glue so that it would stay. Now I'm just taking a longer piece of my ribbon, and I am actually putting a little bit of glue and folding it in half. I would say this is about 6 inches long. I'm folding it in half, and then I'm going to put it around their necks as though it's a scarf, and I'm just going to glue it on the backs. And the little boys are getting these scarves. Then I laid my little gingerbread out to where I thought that the placement was correct and they looked good. And I'm going to start laying them out. I put one little girl on the top, one on the bottom, and then the three little boys go kind of down the middle there, one right in the center, and then one on each side. That uneven number for some reason just always looks good. And just a little bit of glue will do it on these because they're made of foam and they stick very easily. I took one of these little wood cutout pieces that come from the Dollar Tree this year, and it just says Merry Christmas, and I did almost like a dry brushing of the white Waverly chalk paint all over the front of it. And while it's wet, I added a little bit of my glitter, and then I'm just going to place it right in the middle there on the little gingerbread that's in the middle, and it fit perfectly as if he was holding the sign in his little hands, and I just glued it with some hot glue. At this point, to me, the scarves didn't look right, so I took another little square of the fabric, and I'm just going to place a bead of glue on it, fold it up, and kind of stick it at the corner of each of their little scarves as if it's kind of like the end of the scarf coming off from his little neck. And I'm putting them going in different directions. Some of them will have it on the right side, some of them will be on the left side. That way it just looks right because it's not all the same. It just gives a little something different to the piece, I think. Once I got their scarves finished, I'm taking the little red bells and putting them right on the scarves where the little end starts to flip out. And then I'm just going to cut this tiny little sprig of pine. I'm going to cut a couple of pieces off, and I'm going to add a piece of pine to each of them right underneath their little scarf there, just for a little added something something. And it was absolutely driving me crazy that the boys had scarves, but the girls didn't. And it just looked kind of odd to me, so I did add a quick little scarf onto the girls' necks also. So then I just finished up by putting the pine under all my scarves. Then the very last thing I did was take two of these little balls that I get from the Dollar General for $1. They're just little silver balls. and I'm going to clip the end of this little hanger off, and I'm going to place them in the holes that are on that little sign that says Merry Christmas, as if it's just kind of hanging off the sign. And I sprayed it with a little bit of that spray glue and hit it with a little bit of the glitter. And I hope you like this one. I think it's the cutest thing ever.
Sleigh bells are ringing out by the sea, sending a message of love and sympathy. I've been waiting by the phone, and this song will meet you at the door. This Christmas will be something unreal. Baby, I'm falling under your charm. All I ever wanted, got you wrapped up in my arms, and we'll stay up all night, and the fireside is blazing bright. This Christmas will be something unreal. Darling, you saved my heart, just as I thought I was falling.
Our very last DIY is very quick and easy. I picked this beautiful bag from the Dollar Tree. I got it last year. And you just take all of the little hangers, all the clippings off of it, and you're going to use the front part. You know, the back part is where I consider where the bottom of the bag is like folded up. So we take the front part, and you're going to cut right off of the sides here. Not in the middle of the sides, but just that front picture, we're cutting it off. And I turned the bag sideways to make it a little bit easier. You see, I'm just cutting the front piece off. And then I flatten my bag out, and I've got that front picture totally freed from the back. And then I'm also needing the sides of this bag. So you flatten that bag out and you cut the sides of it off also.
It's white outside, and the night is cold. Everyone's lighting candles in their homes. Yes, it's Christmas.
I used my rotary tool to cut a straight line down this, and it made it so much easier.
You can feel it in the air that every child got their heart.
Then I take the sides of the bag and I kind of play with it a little bit so it's not so stiff. And then I just roll it up in the middle, and I'm going to put glue all the way down on the very end and roll it together. And I'm going to do that to both of the sides here.
Lights lighting up this town, and as I walk outside, hear the Christmas choir sing, Merry Christmas to you.
Then I'm simply going to place one of those rolls up at the top and put hot glue all around up there, and place one at the top and one down on the bottom. And this is going to be a beautiful scroll that goes on the wall.
Our family and friends.
Then I just took a long string of my ribbon and I threaded it through that very top piece of the scroll, and it wasn't actually long enough. So what I had to do is cut off another long piece, and instead of tying it together and making knots everywhere, I just glued the ends of it together there, and you couldn't even tell that it was two separate pieces. I only glued one side of that last piece of ribbon because the other one I used it to just tie a simple bow in the top. Then I'm going to spray my spray adhesive all over my bag and use my beautiful glitter all over it to top it off. I hope you like this one. It's very simple and easy, and somehow it's high-end looking. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have so many ideas that are exactly like these coming up in my next video. I didn't have enough room in one video to shove them all. So Friday, get ready because it's going to be even better than this one. It's going to be high-end dollar store decor once again because I really enjoyed doing these. It was simple and easy and very high-end looking. Let me know if you like this kind of content. And hey, don't you forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet. And hit that little bell beside the subscribe button to make sure you don't miss any of my Christmas episodes every Tuesday and Friday at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. I would love to have you there. I want you to know that I appreciate every single one of y'all for coming and spending your time to craft with me tonight. And I hope to see you on Friday at 6:30. And I love you guys so much. Y'all have a blessed day and a blessed week. And God bless every one of you and your families. Bye.